The Toronto District School Board continues to discuss a concerning rise in violence at schools. CP24's Eden Debebe joins us live with the latest on what the board, what trustees are saying.
Well, it seems to be a lot of back and forth, Christine, and the TDSB saying they're not looking to reinstate the SRO program, but a handful of trustees and some parents saying it is the only way forward. We're joined now by Ryan Bird with the TDSB to get a little more clarity on the issue. And I'd love to start off by saying, again, the TDSB has been very clear. They're not looking at reinstating the SRO program. But what are your feelings hearing the trustees again and again saying that it might be the only solution?
We did have varying perspectives shared last night by trustees on both sides of the issue. Although no motion was introduced last night or passed to speak to police in schools, I can tell you in general that the SRO program was canceled back in 2017, but we still have a relationship with Toronto Police. If there is an urgent safety matter at a school, we're not wasting any time. We call 911. We need police support. So that has continued since that program ended and will continue moving forward. Look, we can't mess around. When there is an urgent safety threat, we think that the safety of our students and staff might be in danger, we're calling police.
Absolutely, and that was made very clear at last night's meeting that police are still part of the safety strategy, not necessarily in classrooms. Now, a lot of trustees did say that there needs to be more training with police when they come into those classrooms, perhaps being accompanied by a staff member, and that racism training is very, very important. It was a big part of why the program was disbanded back in 2017. But I'd love to read you a quote from one trustee who said they think it's a little silly and unfortunate that newcomers feel unsafe around police due to their immigration status. Now, I just wanted to ask you, how do you think you would be going about addressing these racism concerns with the police force in schools if trustees are saying comments like that?
Well, any concern about that we want to take seriously and address that. I don't think that's a sweeping generalization of the program or these officers. Perhaps they're aware of some specific incidents that occurred that we would then obviously flag with police. We're in the middle of finalizing our police school board protocol that really formalizes what that process looks like when officers do come into schools. I can tell you generally officers are not coming into classrooms really unless there is an imminent safety threat, whether it be doing a search of the school following an incident or what have you. So they're generally coming into the school, the main office, to help support the school in something that they're concerned about.
And going into what is actually being proposed in the safety plan, I see the $2.5 million in funding towards the evening programs. We're seeing the hiring of more staff. Students at the end of the day are saying that they really just want to have better trust between staff and themselves. Do you think that the plan so far is enough? And can you give us any insight into what might be part of phase 2?
We've announced a number of items over recent weeks, so by no means is this it. This will be a continuing conversation in the days and weeks ahead, but we have taken, to your point, some steps, adding additional staff. The motions passed last night. One spoke to reinstating provincial funding for school programming after school, on weekends, that kind of thing, to engage community organizations to work with youth in all of our communities. I think moving forward, we are establishing a Safe Schools audit team that will look at all of our schools when it comes to safe schools. There's another motion last night to establish local safety councils or tables that would also look into that. We're taking a number of different steps in addition to adding staff to make sure that our schools are as safe as possible. But that conversation is ongoing. We have ongoing conversations with the City of Toronto, with the province coming up. So this is by no means the end, but it's certainly showing some progress over recent weeks that we're hearing what people have to say and we're taking action.
And Ryan Bird, just one last question for you. Students and a lot of community advocates are excited to hear those audits and are looking for that information to be made public. Is that something that TDSB is going to be doing?
Absolutely. So we shared information with all parents last night about what we're doing for school safety, including some of these steps that I outlined today. So that was in a newsletter shared with all of our community yesterday. So we are trying to get the word out so that people know. And then obviously, once we get more the finer details as far as who will make up those teams, when meetings will be, how do we get that parent and student voice and community voice. We'll share that with our community because we want them to be involved as well.
Ryan Bird, the TDSB, thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you.
Well, round 3 of meetings with the TDSB go on tomorrow afternoon, rescheduled from tonight. Part 3, we'll just have to see what trustees have to say and what parents have to say with all these updates. Sending it back to you.
Okay, Edith, thank you so much for that.